everyone, welcome to another episode of Whip and Chat Podcast. I'm your host, Shifmi Dada, and on this show, we speak about everything in entrepreneurship, from the highs to the lows to the in-betweens, and we don't gatekeep. We tell you the real, raw, and unfiltered truth of what it takes to build a thriving business. Today, we are discussing something very, very important. But before we go into it, if you've not subscribed to this channel, you need to do so now because you don't want to miss any episode that we are posting. So do well to subscribe, turn on your notification, share with someone, and give this video a thumbs up. Today, we are learning about what no one tells you about full-time entrepreneurship. Yes. I know we have so many things that we have in mind when we hear the word full-time entrepreneurship, but today we'll be shaking a lot of tables. By the way, if you've not watched the last episode, you should go and see it now. The link will be here so you can go ahead and click it to watch it, because I spoke in that episode, how you will know when to leave your 9 to 5 and some of the things you need to be doing when you have that nudge to leave your 9 to 5. So let's dive right into it. I know so many times people say that entrepreneurs have time for themselves. Entrepreneurship is like, subscribing to soft life. You have all the time. You sack to your boss so you can go ahead and do whatever you want whenever you want it. If you like, you can sleep for 24 hours out of 24 hours in a day. You can choose when to go to work and when not to go to work. You don't have to wake up very early again and face Lagos traffic or the traffic of wherever you are staying. Guys, that's a lie. Like, it's not true. And I'm going to be sharing with you different shocks. I think I have about 4 shocks that greeted me when I went into full-time entrepreneurship. The number one shock is loneliness. See, entrepreneurship and loneliness are like 5 and 6. I mean, nothing prepared me for that. The thing is, in your 9 to 5, you see, even if you are working remotely, you have your stand-up calls in the morning, you have emails to send, you have emails to receive, you have probably clients to speak with or some of your colleagues to speak with, either via emails or, via calls. But in entrepreneurship, especially in the beginning stages, it's not like that at all. The loneliness is real because this time around, you are your own boss. At the initial stage, you probably don't have staffs, so you are the only one doing your thing yourself. And even at the initial stage, you probably don't have clients, so you are doing a lot of figuring it out. How do I get clients? How do I, do this? How do I do that? So the loneliness is real. But do you know one thing I learned from that? It is enjoying someone's company, because that loneliness that comes from entrepreneurship, if you are able to channel it rightly, it helps you to kind of enjoy your own company, enjoy your solitude. And this is one thing you will really need, going forward as your business continues to progress. Because as an entrepreneur, you need a lot of me time. It is in those me time that, you are able to produce things that are reasonable. That's when you're able to come up with strategic decisions, moves to your business. So that initial stage, if channeled rightly, helps you to be able to master this art well, right? And be able to shield yourself from the noise that comes from the environment. So the shocker number 2 is the long hours of work and wearing of different hats. In fact, wearing of all hats, not different hats, all hats. So there's this thing that people believe that if you're an entrepreneur, you can decide when you go to work, and you can decide when you close. Guys, it's not like that. I work 2-4-7. I've had times that I worked 48 hours non-stop, and I'm not even capping. I've had times that I had to work 72 hours, 3 full days, with barely 6 hours of rest in between. Why? Because the work has to be done. Customers are not paying you to give excuses. They are paying you to get the job done, and you have to get it done. And they are not there, for you to be telling them that, I need to sleep, so I need to rest. No, You just need to get the job done. Because if you don't get it done, there are a whole lot of other people out there. All we get is done. So in entrepreneurship, it is not, you don't have work hours. All the time is your work hours, right? And the wearing of different hats, you are the one. In fact, talking about this point reminded me of the several times I've had to put it online that we will work on it when the it's just actually me, I and myself, right? So I mean, this minute you are the marketer, the next minute you are the content creator, the next minute you are the production staff, you are the one speaking with clients as a customer support, you are the one doing everything and everything. And if there's anything that this has taught me is the fact that, see, discipline. Entrepreneurship will teach you discipline. It will force you, except if you are not building something that will stand the test of time, except you just want to hustle, right? And we are still going to have, further episodes that will speak about, how to know if you are building a business that will last or you are just hustling to just survive, right? So, but if you are building something that will stand the test of time, it will really force you to be disciplined, which is very important. It's a virtue that you will need at, the other stages of growing your business. And also, this wearing of all hats at the initial stage is very important. I've seen people who, because they were able to get huge funding, which is very good, because they were able to get huge funding, they just throw the money around to higher and higher and higher, just to skip this phase. The truth is, it backfires later on. Why? Because if you don't understand how the different departments in your business work, anybody can come and do wishy-washy for you. But at that initial stage of doing everything by yourself, you are able to understand the nitty-gritty such that when you start hiring people, you know what to expect, because you build this thing from the scratch. You know what goes into what. So when someone is coming to you because they have the certificate for that role and they think they can bamboozle you with terminologies, you know how to call their bluff. You know how to, you know the practical things you are looking out for. And this is why this stage is actually very important. So then the third shocker is the financial pressure. Guys, I know that people think when you're an entrepreneur, you have 100% control over your money, which is true. You have 100% control. But if you decide to spend everything just as you are getting it, you are the one that will suffer it. Another thing is, there's no assurance of any paycheck at the end of the month. You are no longer in 9 to 5 where it's either you sell or not, you will have your salary. In fact, even roles in 9 to 5 that are, target driven, some of those roles, they still have basic salary, right? That even if you don't meet your targets, there's at least something coming to you at the end of the month. In entrepreneurship, is not like that. Nobody is assuring you anything. If you decide to sleep all through 30 days of the month, don't worry. At the end of the month, you will collect nothing. And if you make millions and billions of naira in the month and you decide to spend everything, don't worry. Next month's bill will come and show you reality. So the financial pressure, the financial uncertainty is one of those shockers that no one talks to you about. And one of the things that this teaches is having a good structure. Finances, we are still going to have an episode on this where we go in depth into it, but having a financial structure really, really, really helps. I remember, days at the beginning of my business, initially I didn't have structure around finances, and as the money comes in fact, I remember one particular time where we had this big deal that just came in for a wedding ceremony, and the clients paid, and I spent the money. I spent a huge chunk of the money. I won't tell you what I spent it on, but I did spend it. And it was time to deliver job. And I had to deliver quality. I feel like that's one thing that has really been a part of me from the beginning. I had to deliver quality. So I was under so much pressure. I had to go borrow money from my friends to fulfill an order that they've paid for. But that taught me that you don't spend the money of an order before you fulfill that order. In fact, right now we have stricter, structures around it. It's not even just about not spending before doing it. There's even an amount you can spend, right? There's a salary to be collected. Initially, when I started with salary in my business, my salary was just 5K weekly, 20K monthly. And it forced me to think, how can I be creative with 20K in a month? Because ordinarily, my tea fare in a week is more than 5K. So, but having this structure around me, it forced me to think that, okay, instead of, taking boat or Uber to this particular place, can I do bike? Can I do cab? Can I do public transport? It forced me to think of, how do I manage these resources? Instead of eating out, can I just manage this money and buy food stuff in the house, wake up early enough to cook, stock it inside my freezer, and portion it so that every day I have something to eat? Because that is how much. And putting this strict structure around it, right, it really helps. So the financial pressure teaches you structure, it teaches you discipline again, it teaches you grit, it teaches you delayed gratification. Very important. As an entrepreneur, you can't do things, the same way your friends in 9 to 5 are doing it. Trust me, you can't just, your friend in 9 to 5 can decide to wake up today and splurge. If you decide to splurge, your business will hear it, because at the initial phase you are putting back almost everything into your business, right? So that is that about shocker number 3. Then the fourth one is the misunderstanding by others, and this one is so real. There's just this misunderstanding because you are very busy, right? And I've had so many people tell me before that, can you not respond to my chat or my call? And I see you posting on your status on WhatsApp, on Instagram, on social media, all your social media platforms, and you're telling me you are busy and you're not responding to chat. I'm like, that's like my office. It is a necessity. You should just see my to-do list. It's staring me in the face that I have to post in these places. So sometimes I show up there. It is because there's a structure around how I show up there that I have to post on my WhatsApp status at least 5 times a day. It's not because I want to do so. I probably feel like sleeping, but I really have to do it. So there's always that misunderstanding from people that maybe you are not showing up enough, and we are still going to learn about that. You have to put a balance around these things, that you are not showing up enough. Some people will even call you and gaslight you that if you don't even call, you don't call people. I beg. But the truth is, see, I won't even say that this is just for entrepreneurs alone. Anybody building something, either a career or a business or anything that will stand the test of time, there is always that phase where, it just has to be more like you're secluded, you against the world, right? And if you don't learn the wisdom around balancing things out and not allowing people to gaslight you, they can literally push you into that corner where you consistently feel bad about yourself, right? But you need to learn that wisdom. And I feel like one of the wisdoms around this is actually being intentional about building your circle. And we are still going to have an episode about entrepreneurship and what your friendship circle should look like. It should push you to intentionally build your circle of trusted friends, or friends that can be there for you, people that understands the demand of the season, people that won't just come and gaslight you, people that are also working the work, right? That are also building, that you share the same value together, that when you are talking about what your challenges or the things you are facing currently looks like, they are not feeling like maybe yours is too much. They can understand because they are also building the same way you have, right? And this is very, very important. So entrepreneurship is sweet, but I will advise that you prepare for both the highs and the lows and the in-between. So entrepreneurship is sweet, but I will advise you that you should be intentional about building a solid support system. Have a positive mindset towards every challenge and shocker you experience along the way. Have a positive mindset towards it. Be disciplined and hold your faith seriously. This will prepare you for the highs, the lows, and the in-between. So guys, I will see you in the next episode. In the next episode, we'll be talking about some of the tools and routines that help me to stay sane after leaving my 9 to 5 into full-time entrepreneurship. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do so right now. And don't forget to switch on the notification button so that you can get to, get notified every time we post a new episode. We do that every Saturday morning. So don't forget to on the notification bell so you get notified for it. And please share with that entrepreneur around you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.